The Usos, historic WWE tag team, multiple tag team titles, part of this historic bloodline storyline that has yet to come to a conclusion, but their story, they've broken up this time because at SummerSlam, Jimmy Uso cost Jey Uso, his twin brother, not only the undisputed Universal Championship, which I wish they would stop calling it that because we have the World Heavyweight Championship on Raw, so that basically means Roman Reigns is not the undisputed champion anymore. But it also cost him the opportunity of becoming tribal chief of the bloodline. And basically, Jimmy Uso explained it as that he didn't want his brother Jey Uso to be corrupted. He didn't want him to turn into another Roman Reigns. And he did that. He betrayed his brother. He cost Jey Uso, main event Jey Uso, the match at SummerSlam because he loves his brother. Which I understand, it's not the best explanation, but it is an explanation that has some logic to it. Because, bear with me, Roman Reigns, prior to the bloodline, prior to the wise man, special counsel Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns was cool with the Usos. He was definitely cool with Solo Sikoa. I can put money on that as far as that goes. And then little by little, he had that devil whispering in his ear, Paul Heyman. He started getting even more and more power, and he surrounded himself with family that he then started to push around and manipulate. So just based on that, Jimmy Uso has some logic to his explanation with Jey. Now, with that said, there is 0% chance, there is zero doubt in any fan's mind that these two brothers, twin brothers, will not face off against each other anytime soon. And what I mean is, these two brothers, these two twins, Jimmy versus Jey, it's going to happen at some point in time, whether it be at Survivor Series, at the Royal Rumble. I'm honestly hoping it's WrestleMania, and honestly, it seems like WrestleMania is a viable option in Philadelphia because at Payback, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes announced that main event Jey Uso made his return to WWE after about 2-3 weeks. He quit WWE, he quit SmackDown, he made his return, and he was now a part of the Monday Night Raw roster, meaning main event Jey Uso, he's stuck on Raw. Jimmy Uso, he's stuck on SmackDown. They are separated at this moment in time, and even though WWE has a current history of allowing stars to cross brands, I mean, we have The Miz, who's a Raw superstar, facing off against LA Knight, a SmackDown superstar, at Payback, and they're going to have a match pretty soon as well. So, it's not set in stone. But as far as this long-term storytelling goes, I wouldn't have them cross paths again until the actual Royal Rumble match, especially if you want to build up to a Uso versus Uso match at WrestleMania, which to me is the ultimate goal. But the problem here is, can WWE get them there? And can they get them there in a relevant enough spot, with momentum, with the crowd behind them? And that's going to be tough. That's going to be extremely complicated without Roman Reigns in the picture, without the bloodline in the picture, especially for main event Jey Uso on Monday Night Raw. Now, Jey Uso has made a ton of enemies over on the Red brand over the past 3+ years because of his alignment with the bloodline. I mean, we just saw all the various confrontations he could have on Monday Night Raw in the coming weeks, in the coming months. So Jey Uso has an uphill battle at this moment in time. And to be frank, what Jimmy Uso did with John Cena on SmackDown last week, his promo, his mic work, his in-ring presence was miles ahead. In my opinion, again, this is just my opinion, miles ahead of what Jey Uso was able to accomplish opening up Monday Night Raw. To me, Jey Uso kind of struggled a bit on Monday Night Raw, and it's understandable, like I said, like I've said with LA Knight. Gotta do that every time. It's very hard to navigate WWE as a babyface. It's very hard to be that clean-cut babyface because there's really only room for one. at any moment in time. And currently on Monday Night Raw, as far as the single stars goes, as far as the main event goes, that's Cody Rhodes. Hands down. That's Cody Rhodes. So Jey Uso's going to have to find a different way. But as far as I'm concerned, I have my doubts on whether or not WWE can get them there to WrestleMania, to their one-on-one singles match, at the very least until the Royal Rumble. Because from here, we're about to enter the middle of September, which means a little bit over 3 months, almost over 4 months to get to the Royal Rumble match, where we actually have the confrontation between the Uso twins, which is, in my opinion, where they actually get some of their heat back, their momentum back, the interest of the WWE Universe back. So at this moment in time, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, they're most likely to cool down. They will most likely to cool down. Want solutions to each of their issues, each of their problems. Jimmy Uso still has to deal with Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa and the Universal Champion Roman Reigns when he does decide to show up on SmackDown. So that's an upside when it comes to Jey Uso. For Jimmy Uso. For Jey Uso on Monday Night Raw, he's going to have the quote-unquote protection of Sami Zayn, but he still has to deal with a Kevin Owens, with a Drew McIntyre, with a Matt Riddle, with the Judgment Day. They teased some drama, some tension with the Judgment Day and Jey Uso. That's going to come into play in later weeks. So again, it's all a matter of how WWE plays their cards with both Uso twins in the coming weeks, in the coming months, and trying to get them to the point, to the Royal Rumble match, where they actually have that first confrontation since they, quote-unquote, broke up on SmackDown a few weeks ago. That's when it starts to heat up again. And it's pretty similar to the Hardys back in the day. We have Jey Uso, who's Jeff Hardy, in this case, and you have Jimmy Uso, who's Matt Hardy. But things won't play out the exact same way because, like I said, at least on the promos that they did in the past week, and we still have to see what Jimmy Uso has to say tonight on SmackDown about his brother Jay moving to Monday Night Raw and coming back to WWE. As far as those promos are concerned, to me, even though Jimmy Uso got cooked and fried and whatever you want to call it by John Cena's one line, it's still John Cena. To me, Jimmy Uso felt a lot more comfortable, a lot more charismatic, a lot more presence, a better promo all in all than what main event Jey Uso was able to accomplish on Monday Night Raw. And for now, this might sound as an excuse, but for now, I'm tagging that on the fact that Jey Uso now has to navigate as a babyface, which is complicated. So we'll just have to wait and see how this plays out. But again, those are my predictions. Jimmy and Jey have their first confrontation since their breakup during the Royal Rumble match, and that's going to lead us into WrestleMania, their one-on-one singles match in Philadelphia. It could happen. I think there's a high possibility of it happening. It might be a long shot. I don't know. We'll see what WWE decides in the next few months. So with that said, tune in later on tonight to SmackDown for another episode, to Fox for another episode of SmackDown. I believe we also have Superstar Spectacle this morning in India, if I'm not mistaken. Probably should be watching that. So, with that said, I'm Alexis Carrillo. This has been Wrestling Talk, and I'll see you next time.